Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Illuminative Tarot. We're going to read for Scorpio, Sun, Moon and Rising for May 2024. It's just going to be a general reading, kind of an energy check-in to understand what's going on in your life at the particular moment. And we're going to have a good time, just kind of seeing what's going on in your life. Hopefully we'll get some good positive messages for you. So as always, if you like this channel, please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Ding the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of the updates. And furthermore, if you would like a personal reading, please reach out to me at the information provided in the description box below. I have updated that information and sorted out the typo in the email. So hopefully that doesn't happen again. And I do apologize for that, but that was an issue on my error. So if you have had if you have not been successful in getting the personal readings, it's due to my end, and I do apologize for that. Anyways, we're going to go ahead. We're going to look into what's going on with your reading for today, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. We're in May right now. So I'm going to try standing up on this one, see if it gives me any better chances of shuffling the deck. So, gonna go ahead. Okay, let's get this going. So we have Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for May 2024. All right, Scorpio, let's see what's going on with you. Your cards do not want to shuffle today. There's a lot going on with you. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. There we go. Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for May 2024. Stop there. All right, so we've had quite a few challenging sets of different, astrological transits taking place throughout April, and now we're basically coming off the back of that. And from what I understand, now we're moving into, several new transits, which is basically Jupiter aspected to Uranus, and additionally we had the new moon in Taurus, and now we also have the we have Venus entering Taurus as well. So for those with Taurian placements, this is a very positively aspected kind of movement into calmer waters. So I'm getting Six of Swords energy here, and additionally it's going to help people to kind of stabilize their lives, whether or not they've been dealing with any kind of difficult financial situations or difficult relationships, because Venus rules both of those. And so hopefully we'll be coming into some more positive energy there. So let's see how the Scorpio see themselves. Oh. Hopefully not like that. Let's try that again. How the Scorpio see themselves. Here we go. Okay. Challenge. Challenge. All right. Recent past. Recent past. There we go. Okay, near future. Clarify the Nine of Wands. All right. Not bad, not bad. So we have core energy. All right. And then we have what's already known. Jesus. Okay. Final outcome. Final outcome. Okay, and advice. Just going to take the top one there. I'll take them all. Maybe there's a message in there that we need to hear. But we're going to start with the basics here. We're going to start with the bottom of the deck. So we have the Two of Pentacles in the reverse, which indicates that you have a bit of a challenge here, juggling a lot of things that are taking place in your life. We can look at the signifier here. What is the signifier of this reading? Signifier of the reading. My God. That was the signifier for Cancer. So if you have Cancer in your chart, please have a look at that. We went also from a Two of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck to a Two of Wands in the reverse. So there's a lot of choices, a lot of decisions that you have to make at this point in time. And what I'm noticing here is that for the Scorpios involved in this, it seems that currently your life seems to be doing quite well. You have the Ten of Cups as how you see it, as how you are right now. So you're very content. And I see also that the challenge for you is the King of Cups in the reverse. So I'm not sure of why this is popping into my head, but I get the impression that, you know, it's like, don't rest on your laurels, which means that you don't want to just look back at your accomplishments and just kind of stop where they are and take them for granted. Because, you know, the Wheel of Fortune, which is also popping into my head, tends to move in a direction based on how you feel at a specific moment in time. So if you're feeling down on your luck, usually the Wheel of Fortune spins. That way you can have an upswing in your luck. And then if you are sitting at the top of the mountain, someone tries to knock you down. And in saying that, you know, it's important for us to really kind of get a feel for where we feel at a specific moment in time in our life, and make sure that we are able to maintain the energies needed to continue to have a fulfilling and enriching life, rather than just being stuck in a bit of an impasse. Because anyone who has the Ten of Cups as their current energy, and then also the challenge of that is the King of Cups in the reverse. Normally the King of Cups in the reverse is a person who's emotionally closed off, withdrawn, sometimes emotionally manipulative. And so maybe with this particular issue, you know, you want to make sure that you kind of give yourself a bit of an emotional gut check. So that way, you know, that your happiness is based on something real and something that can be sustained. What is it that Scorpio is feeling happy about? What is Scorpio feeling happy about? So Scorpio is feeling happy about High Priestess reverse and okay. So it could be about the fact that you're manifesting a project. It could be about, you know, you've kept it secret for a bit of time, but now it seems that you're revealing that, you know, something that you want to manifest is coming to fruition. So if that's a work-related thing, like maybe opening a business up, or particularly, revealing that you do have feelings for someone, or revealing that you are in a relationship with someone to the outside world. Normally, the High Priestess operates in secret, and she doesn't really reveal her hand until much, much later. But she imparts the wisdom that she receives from the divine, and then that goes into informing the public around her. She's seen as a wise counsel. So it's quite possible, like with the King of Cups in the reverse, that can be sometimes a person who has to keep their emotions to themselves, or is able to control the emotions at the time. So sometimes in the reverse, the King of Cups can be someone who is unable to contain their emotions, or unable to how can I say? They're unable to keep it all in. I'm kind of getting a little flashback from Ren and Stimpy, if anyone knows about that channel or that cartoon. Stimpy would always say, "I'm so happy, I can hardly contain myself." And I'm getting that impression right now. So maybe if there's something that you've been wanting to reveal over the last few weeks, that could be, one of the reasons why it's, I guess, difficult for you to hold it all in. And, you're just bursting at the seams with joy about something that you've recently achieved or accomplished. And so in the recent past, you had Death reversed, and you have the Nine of Cups. So Death reverse normally refers to someone that has not allowed something to die from the past that, is meeting its inevitable conclusion. And then the Nine of Cups. Now, when I see the two of those together, normally the Nine of Cups is a person who's had a wish fulfillment. So maybe you had a wish fulfillment that something did not come to an end in your life. And since it's related to the Ace of Cups in the reverse, maybe it's a love relationship that, you were able to reconcile with, or and that made you really happy that you could reconcile. But it could also be the fact that you're holding on smugly to the fact that something has not died off in the past. And because the Nine of Cups can also be an overindulgence. So when coupled with death in the reverse, normally it means that, I'm almost getting that impression from the myth of Sisyphus, the Albert Camus story about one must imagine Sisyphus happy. Having to roll that boulder up the hill only for it to come all the way back down for all eternity. And in order to continue doing that, one must imagine that Sisyphus, this character in this Greek tragedy, is happy doing what they do. So I'm not saying that's particularly your scenario, but if that does relate to you in your specific story, you can take it as it resonates. Generally, what I see from here is that a person, is quite content that a cycle has not closed out yet. And they're working on keeping that from happening, or preventing that from happening in general. What I see in the future is you have the Nine of Wands and then the Three of Swords in the reverse. So again, that's more energy of holding back and guarding what it is that you have worked hard towards. So perhaps if this was like a business that you're trying to launch, maybe your business stumbled a bit at one point, but then now it's starting to open back up and you're starting to see the fruits of your labor. And this is starting to become more prosperous, but you do realize that you have been kind of battle weary, and it's taken you a bit of time for you to get to the point where you can persist, and you've had to find ways to do that. So maybe in the past you had the Nine of Cups, but now you have the Nine of Wands in the future, which is interesting. So you're moving from that emotional sense of contentment. Now you're just like, this is getting a bit heavy now. So I would say, like, if this was a relationship, for example, and you were with someone and that, you reconciled with them and you're like, oh, this is great, this is beautiful, we can be together again. And then as time passes, as you move towards the future, you're just like, what the hell did I get myself into? So it's that battle-heartedness that you have here. The Nine of Wands can also symbolize someone who's guarded. So It's like holding the fort as you watch kind of like the dam begin to break. And then the Three of Swords in the reverse, so maybe from the past in which you had this reconciliation, then moving into the future, you then realize like, maybe this isn't all cracked up what it's supposed to be. And you're getting over the heartbreak of being kind of disillusioned in that reconciliation process. Or maybe if it's a job that you went back to, in the past, you're just like, oh, so glad that this didn't end. But now you're just kind of like, oh my God, how long can I hold out to make sure that this continues on the way it has? And that can be quite challenging, because what you don't want to do is to stay stuck or remain stuck in a situation that is draining you financially, mentally, emotionally, even spiritually. And it can take a person of significant fortitude in order to sustain a type of, bond like that. What I see for you is that might come to a head by the end of May. What I see normally I would say this Ten of Cups would be something positive, and I'm trying to see the bright side of this, but unfortunately there are surrounding cards here that indicate a bit of a, I hate to say it, but a kind of a smugness or a kind of contentment that things are the way they are. You're content and happy that this hasn't completely collapsed yet. But now, as you move forward into the future, you're seeing that it's coming apart at the seams. At the very core of this energy here, you have the Five of Wands and the Four of Cups. So maybe after your reconciliation with whoever this is, you realize that the arguments began, conflict, drama started again, and you're just getting bored of it. You felt that maybe if this is a relationship, the person that you're with, seemed like they wanted to kind of reconcile and do things right this time. And then as you progressed, you're just like, my God, here we go again, back on the hamster wheel. And it's becoming such a burden that I don't see the Ten of Pentacles here. I mean, I don't see the, I don't see the Ten of Pentacles, but I also don't see the Ten of Wands, which would indicate carrying that heavy burden. We just have the Five of Wands, which is the conflict, the pushback, and the changes brought about due to the fact that this is a very kind of chaotic union here. And then additionally, you have the Four of Cups, which indicates a boredom or a lack of zest for whatever you're dealing with right now. So it's almost like being on autopilot. I get that scene from Neo from The Matrix, towards the end of the first installment of that. And, he's fighting Agent Smith, and it's almost like it's coming back to him, how the Matrix works. And so he's able to block all of the moves that Agent Smith throws at him. And it's almost like he's doing it on autopilot because he's aware of the situation. And maybe in this case, you are aware of the situation that you're faced with, if that's a work relationship that's very toxic and, dealing with workplace mobbing, things like that. And you're just holding on to your stash, your situation. And then you're just realizing that, okay, maybe this is a bit too much, but you're doing it anyway. And then also, if it's a love relationship, then you're just like, okay, here we go again, another fight, another argument. And I'm not really feeling the vibe right now, but I will do my best to get through this. We've already reconciled. Let's get back together. Let's try to sustain this relationship. What I notice in the energy here at the top of the pyramid here, at the top of the reading, what's known about the situation. You have the Five of Cups, the Three of Cups, and then you have the Page of Wands. So again, I'm getting more of that energy. The Page of Wands in reverse indicates a loss of passion for something, or indicates a lack of speaking, a lack of flirting, a lack of, passionate communication. So it really indicates to me like a person. I'm getting that picture in my head, everything's fine. You have the dog, the little animated dog that's in the burning house, and he's just sat there drinking, his tea or his coffee or whatnot. And he's just like, this is fine, knowing that the house is burning down. So we have the 5 of Cups, the 3 of Cups. 5 plus 3 is 8 of Cups. It's like you're refusing to walk away from the situation. It's not a very good thing if you have that. Perhaps what you need to do is actually walk away from the situation because you realize, number one, you're disappointed. You have the 5 of Cups. Normally the person is actually focusing on the 3 of Cups in the Rider-Waite Tarot. So they're focusing on the 3 of Cups, the celebrations, the parties, the good times in front of them that are no longer there. And all they have to do is turn around and find the 2 of Cups, which is actually the love that they share between themselves and something else, another person, new opportunities, things of that nature. And even here, you have at the core of it, you have the 4 of Cups. That 4 of Cups precedes the 5 of Cups. And this is what's causing a lot of this, the drama, the heartbreak in this. That the thing that you're sharing this bond with is becoming a burden now more than anything else. Deep down, you know that you're ready to just kind of reject this, but there's something there keeping you in this union with this external entity, which is now, chipping away at your confidence, chipping away at your soul, it seems. It's like that person who stays in the job way too long because they know it's what they've always known, it's what they're comfortable with, even as it's falling apart. And then there's the person who stays in the relationship just a bit too long because it's the only person they've ever been with. And they've been with this person for so long that the thought of being in a committed relationship with someone else seems like, it's a bit too much to handle. And when in fact, we know that's not the case. Yes, dating is a little bit harder in 2024, but there is still the possibility of people finding a proper partner for themselves, even though the challenge out there is significant. And that said, we look at, I just get the impression there's a person here who is focused on the reconciliation, the 3 of Cups, trying to appreciate the good times that they are having. But surrounding that, there's no passion and there's disappointment at every turn. And it's almost when I put these cards down, I didn't put them in sequential order where one card is on top of the other. It's almost like the 5 of Cups and the Page of Wands in the reverse are trying to shadow or eclipse the 3 of Cups. So you see yourself almost getting the expression like the good times roll, but it's kind of a sarcastic play on words on that because it's almost like these good times are being overshadowed by the disappointment and the lack of proper communication, because sometimes the Page of Wands can also be a person who's a bit of a dick, or like someone who doesn't communicate with maturity, and this creates more chaos that could probably actually be leading to the 5 of Wands here. So think about that. If you've got a boss or if you've got a husband or wife that's communicating to you in a manner that just gets under your skin, causes problems, you see them as kind of like a selfish brat who always needs to get their way. This would be a clear indication of that. So you're moving from the Page of Wands in the reverse. Your outcome is the Page of Pentacles in the reverse. I'm going to clarify that just to see exactly what it relates to. Page of Pentacles in the reverse. Let's clarify Page of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay. So you have in this, you have the Nine of Wands. You have the Nine of Swords, sorry, and Temperance. So looking at these three cards together as the outcome, you have the Nine of Swords, which indicates being deeply in your head and being kind of distraught. You can see you can see how this person is feeling in this card. It is pretty brutal. He's seeing his airship being destroyed. And hopefully your relationship doesn't go up in flames due to the fact that you tried to force a round peg into a square, a square peg into a round hole, as they say. And, hopefully your ship doesn't go down in flames, but it seems like that's what you're kind of foreseeing. And it's not a good look, but we're going to keep looking here. Page of Pentacles in the reverse can see that something, there's no practical communication, or there's basically like a let's agree to be friends. Because normally when we get the Page of Pentacles in the reverse, it indicates a friend zoning energy there, where the person is basically relegated to a practical role in someone's life, where it's like, okay, you could be a friend, nothing more. You can be a business partner, nothing more. You can be just a very little something in my life that helps me to get by, and nothing more. That coupled with the Nine of Swords, it indicates that this has been done from a place where there's too much anxiety being produced in the relationship that has unfolded from this reconciliation from the past. And then the Spirit gauge, which is Temperance, indicates the merging of two things. So it's like temperance, it's temperance basically in this deck. But also what it shows is that I'm noticing something here. When you look at the card, you see a man and you see a robot. Maybe that's a robot. Yeah, it's a robot. And you have the same infinity symbol that is here in the, what is this? The Magician. So you have number 1 and number 14. Normally Temperance comes before the Devil. And you have that same infinity sign here. This one's horizontally, this one's laterally. I'm under the impression maybe you thought that this relationship would last forever. And so the bond is shared between two people as well. But in this one, you're realizing that you have to connect with something a bit higher because it's moving from the bottom to the top. I'm getting the impression that, the person that you dealt with maybe was a bit ice cold. They were a bit robotic. Maybe you feel that you're turning into a robot, going through the motions with this relationship or this job or this place that you find yourself in at the moment. Comment in the comment box below if you want to share that information. But what I get now is I see that perhaps for you, you felt like you've had to balance between your true authentic self and a replica of what you thought would insinuate from this relationship. And now it's time for you to face that head on. Maybe you're having to integrate your shadow self a little bit. Pushing this person to the side may give you some clarity and time so that you can kind of come to terms with what's going on and do some healing, because the Temperance card is a card of healing as well. Normally it's 1 foot in the water and 1 foot on terra firma for the Archangel Gabriel, who is mixing the two cups together in the original Rider-Waite. This comes where we are trying to mix the past and the future, or mixing the energies of two people, mixing the energies of two things to come to a viable solution. I almost see you taking a step back, so that way you can actually do this in real time. Because I think that if you enmesh yourself in the relationship at this time or in the job, it's going to create more of that Nine of Swords energy. So in your outcome, you have 4 cards, or rather in your advice, you have 4 cards. You have the cosmic blueprint, which is the world. This is what the Fool enters in when they are in their, the apprentice in this deck. This is what they enter in order to, take their new journey. And then this is the back end of that, the cosmic blueprint, which is the final card in the major arcana. So you go from 0 to 21. And now, what I see in this, you have the world reverse, which indicates not being able to level up or that something is left unfinished. And then you have the Two of Swords. So with the two of these together, it's almost like when you're being advised to understand that when compromising your values, your morals, and that which makes you an authentic person, it leaves you feeling unfinished. And perhaps by the actions that you've taken in the past to reconcile with someone else who is clearly not good for you, you've left yourself an unfinished work of art. This cycle was supposed to close out for a reason, and they say oftentimes they're an ex for a reason, or they're an ex job for a reason. Those things which close out in your life, when you run back to them, you open the wounds back up. And this in turn creates that, it reinvigorates the chaos that ensued from the previous cycle. And if you jump back into that cycle, it makes it much, much more difficult to deal with the second time around. Because if it's a person who is a manipulator, they know how to manipulate better from the empirical experience they've had from the past dealing with you. And if it's a job, they know how to keep you, but then they will continue to breadcrumb you and do the same things that they've done before. When a person is toxic, just know that they're toxic. They're not an energy that you're supposed to keep into your life. They're an energy that gives you a lesson, and then after you learn that lesson, you let it go. Because in the upright, the cosmic blueprint, or the world, is you leveling up and learning all that you need to know about the lesson from that past. And unfortunately, blocking that lesson out with the Two of Swords is precisely what's keeping you stuck in this particular moment. Cancer had similar reading, not to the same extent, but it was about feeling stuck in general. So for advice on that, feel free to reach out to that reading. But in your reading, Scorpio, I see you wanting to force that square peg in a round hole. And that is in turn leading, you have happiness in the center of the deck. That's how you are currently. But is it real happiness? And to a greater extent, does it leave you feeling as if you are leveling up in life? If you're holding on to something for, maybe that Ten of Cups is like the family life, where it's not necessarily that you're happy, but perhaps that because you feel like you have a complete family life, maybe something that was difficult to come by in the past, in your own childhood. I just see a person with a content that they have a family, but the challenge is actually being able to connect with it. And you can be surrounded by family and still feel alone. You don't want that in your life. That's why it's important to integrate that shadow self, so that way you feel complete and whole in yourself. For you, you also have the Lady of Submersibles, which is the Queen of Cups, and you have the Sun. So this is you. It's not so much a message about happiness, but it's more about shedding light on how you feel deep inside. And the Queen of Cups is very sensitive. She's very nurturing, very intuitive. The Sun is also the most positive card of the deck, because not only does it point towards your happiness, but it also illuminates the things that you need to know about. And that, that solar force is the force that permeates all life. You know, the Kemetic systems or the Egyptian systems referred to that as Ra. And that was the solar energy that led to the creation of all life and matter around, represented by a serpent. So in many ways, perhaps what you're doing now is you're starting to look at that cup like they do in the Rider-Waite. She's looking at a large, ornate cup, which houses her heart. And with the sun next to it, it's like you're shining light, finally, for the first time, instead of looking for reconciliation from someone else. You're now reconciling with yourself. Maybe that's what the spirit gauge is all about. You're being able to reconcile with what matters the most to you. And in turn, by doing that, you're able to build a new relationship. You're no longer trying to reconcile with a past person, job, place, thing that's run its course. But perhaps what you're doing now is you're seeing for the first time the most important relationship that you should have, and that's one to yourself. So that's it. That's my ramble for today. Thank you, Scorpio, for joining. This has been Aluminum Tarot. If you like what you see here, please like, share, subscribe, ding the notification bell, comment below, so that we can push the algorithms up, keep this gravy train moving. And also, if you'd like a personal reading, all the information for that is in the description box below. It's been a pleasure reading for you, Scorpio. I hope that for the month of May that you do come to the illumination that you need to. And, if this specific reading resonated for you. If not, I hope you had some fun listening to it, and maybe there was something that you could take from it. Thanks so much. Until then, love and light. Bye now.